A Hurricane Michael update from the 13th First Alert Storm Center.
Thanks for joining us. Governor Rick Scott is in Walton County right now giving the latest on Hurricane Michael. We'll join that feed right now.
Right now, we do not have widespread fuel outages in the state. The state emergency response team has been holding regular calls with the fuel industry and ports in Florida to ensure they can get gas to across the state safely. You can download the app Gas Buddy to check where fuel is available. We will be monitoring fuel throughout the day. This is a top priority. Healthcare facilities in response. The Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration is in contact with healthcare facilities to ensure they have the resources they need. The Florida Department of Health has 5 ambulance strike teams and 35 special needs shelter teams ready to deploy. On shelters, the Department of Education is also working with local districts to ensure they have everything they need to open shelters quickly. I want to thank our school superintendents for their willingness to open shelters and respond to the needs of our communities. They are doing everything they can to both keep people safe during the storm and then quickly get schools back open after Michael passes. Shelters have been opening across the Panhandle, and you can find the latest information on shelter opening on open shelters at florida.disaster.org. We are already seeing mandatory evacuations being ordered in counties across the Panhandle. But by the way, these shelters are very important, and we've got to open as many shelters as we believe we're going to need. And you can't wait to open these shelters. We've got to get those open as quickly as we can. If you are under an evacuation order, leave now. Do not wait. You do not know when roads. You don't know when the roads are going to get impacted where you can't get out. You don't know when bridges are going to be closed. Do not wait to leave. If you're on the fence on whether you're going to leave, decide to leave or not, don't be on the fence. Do it. The storm can kill you. Remember, during a storm, first responders cannot come out and save you. It's too dangerous. So do not expect in the middle of the storm, your law enforcement, fire department, anybody's going to be able to come and save you. They cannot. You need to evacuate if you're ordered to do so. If your county is planning evacuations later today, do it now. Don't wait. Go ahead and leave now. Do not wait. Look, we all know that evacuations are not fun. They're inconvenient. I can always think about my parents, what they would have been going through and how it would have been for them to evacuate when they had very limited resources. And we know a lot of people have limited resources. But in Florida, there are so many people ready to help you. There is no excuse not to keep your family safe. Visit Florida has also opened up its hotel partnerships, and you can visit expedia.com/Florida for hotel availability. Here's what we know about the storm right now. The National Hurricane Center has active hurricane, storm surge, and tropical storm warnings and watches along the Gulf Coast. Tampa Bay remains under both storm surge and tropical storm watches. As the storm approaches, there will be a significant threat of tornadoes. It is critical for you to listen to local news reports. Hurricane Michael is a massive storm that could bring total devastation to parts of our state, especially in the Panhandle. Think about the destruction we've seen before with storms like Hurricane Irma. Hurricane Michael poses a deadly threat, and as it grows stronger, we can expect it poses a deadly threat, and as it grows stronger, we can expect to make landfall as a major Category 3 storm on Wednesday along the Gulf Coast. And remember, this thing can speed up. The Panhandle and Big Bend will likely see winds in excess of 110 miles per hour. Think about that, 110 miles per hour. Pensacola could see sustained hurricane force winds of 75 miles per hour. Tallahassee could see sustained hurricane force winds of 75 miles per hour. Again, Hurricane Michael is forecast to be the most destructive storm to hit the Florida Panhandle in decades. The storm will be life-threatening and extremely dangerous. This storm will bring torrential rain to most of the Panhandle and Big Bend, which means flooding will be a major issue. We expect to see 12 inches of rain in some areas of the Panhandle. So think about that. A foot of rain is expected in some parts of the Panhandle. Again, prepare for major flooding from this storm. This is the thing that scares me the most, storm surge. The National Hurricane Center is forecasting storm surge to be between 8 to 12 feet between Indian Pass and Gulf County and Cedar Key and Levy County. That means the water will come miles inshore and could easily rise over the roofs of houses. 8 to 12 feet of storm surge is deadly. I cannot stress enough how dangerous the storm surge will be. Stop and think about this for a second. We've seen the tsunami, the water comes up that high and thousands of people die. So this stuff is deadly. Between Cedar Key and the Crystal River, we're expecting to see 6 to 8 feet of surge. Much of the rest of the Gulf Coast will see between 2 and 6 feet of storm surge, which is still life-threatening. And think about it, this is an estimate. Estimates can go up, estimates can go down, but prepare for the worst. Think about it this way. If the storm hits near Panama City, the Tampa area will still see life-threatening storm surge. You cannot hide from storm surge, so get prepared. And get out if an evacuation is ordered. Do not take a chance. If there's an evacuation ordered, get out. Every family has to be prepared now. Remember, we can rebuild your house. We cannot rebuild your life. Take this seriously and keep your family safe. For local governments, let's make sure everyone has what they need. Local governments need to have a power restoration plan. We just heard from Duke Energy. They have 5,000 personnel ready to deploy. Getting the light backs on after the storm is my top priority. I just checked with Gulf Power just before we got here, and they said they have 3,000 people ready to deploy. If we need to have evacuations, local communities need to issue the orders right away. We cannot afford to wait. Acting quickly and decisively is the most important thing we can do right now. For families, our state will do whatever it takes to make sure that every family and every visitor in Florida is prepared for any possible impact from Michael. Families should get 3 days of food and water and make sure all medications are ready now. Do not expect everybody can show up immediately to help you. You've got in the beginning, take care of yourself. Check on your neighbors and listen to local officials. During disasters, Floridians take care of each other. That's what we've seen. So let's all stay safe, stay alert to weather updates, and watch this storm closely. Michael can still change direction and impact any part of our state. The impacts are going to start later today, so get ready. There is no reason not to be prepared to keep your family safe. Just think about it. We all have a family. I have a family. I'm a dad. I'm a grandparent. I love my family. We all love our families. I want every family in the state to be safe. Now's the time to prioritize keeping your family safe. There's nothing else you should be thinking about now. How you keep your family safe. You can visit www.floridadisaster.org to make a plan and get information on road closures, shelters, and evacuations. You can visit fl511.com for current road conditions. Families can also call the State Emergency Information Line for assistance. It is 1-800-342-3557. 1-800-342-3557. You can also follow at FLCERT, FLSERT, or at FLGovScott on Twitter for live updates on Michael. Con la llegada de esta hurricane, lo más importante que cada familia puede hacer es tener un plan. Familias deben tener por lo menos 3 días de comida, agua, medicamentos y otros suministros esenciales. Haga un plan hoy y esté preparado. So, I mean, the biggest thing is this is a horrible storm. We don't know how bad it's going to be. I just want everybody to take the time, take care of your family, be prepared. We're going to continue to work hard. I know everybody is around the state, but you've got to take care of yourself first. Now let me introduce Sheriff Mike Atkins.
Thank you, Governor. First and foremost, the most important thing you're going to hear me say today is to reiterate what the governor just said, which is now is the time to evacuate. Take this seriously. Do not underestimate the power of the storm. This is the rare emergency that you know it's coming. You have an opportunity to help take part in your own safety. Now, you understand your Sheriff's Office personnel, South Walton Fire District, and Sheriff's Office fire personnel, we're going to stay on duty, okay? And we're going to be working. Sheriff's Office personnel will ride the storm out south of the bay. I'll be south of the bay, but I take this seriously. My family lives south of the bay as well. They will evacuate. Please take seriously the risk your men and women of fire safety and Sheriff's Office personnel are taking riding this storm out. They're not doing it because they want to. They do it because that's what they do. Honor and respect that commitment to protect you. We're going to do what we can to help you as quickly as we can help you, but in the heart of this storm, we cannot leave shelter to go and rescue at that point. We're going to have to ride the inclement weather out. We will be south of the bay. For those of you that are concerned about the evacuation routes, understand we will keep you updated on the bridges, what's going on. As soon as possible, we will let you know when the bridges are going to close. We will give you some kind of update, both on the Sheriff's Office feed, our Twitter, our Facebook, South Walton as well, and the county's EM page. So we're going to keep this information flowing to you. But when it happens, and it is not a negotiation. When I close that bridge, the bridge is closed. So we're asking, we're urging you, imploring you to leave now. Now, if you're worried about your property, understand the Sheriff's Office personnel will be there. We're going to be looking out after your property. We have a lot of men and women in uniform. That's part of their job as well, to look after your property and well-being. So don't let that be a consideration. As the governor said, property can be replaced. Understand that your governmental entities are working closely together. They are doing exactly what you want them to do. They're coordinating. They're looking after your well-being. Help us help you. Thank you.
We can answer any questions that anybody has. But just one thing I think, Chair, I don't know if you want to reiterate, but once those bridges close, if you're south of that bridge, you're not getting across. I mean,
40 miles sustained wind speed for 50 minutes. We're going to close the bridges, whether that's myself or the highway patrol or the chairman. Once the bridge is closed, again, this is not a negotiation. I will not reopen the bridge. I will not let you pass at that point.
Governor, I was going to ask you, just in reference to just north of the state line in Alabama, have you been in contact with Governor Kay Ivey as well as communicating with folks along the state line in Dothan and the surrounding area?
Sure. We work together with our emergency management teams. If you go back, you remember with Irma, we asked them to open up shelters, and they opened up shelters for us. So yeah, we work with Georgia, we work with all of our surrounding states. On top of that, FEMA's in the Emergency Operations Center. I've been talking to the Administrator Brock Long yesterday and the Regional Administrator Gracia Check, and they're in Gracia now is in Tallahassee.
We've been telling people to evacuate. You guys have been telling people to evacuate. A lot of people say, I'm staying. Can you explain what type of realistic, dangerous conditions they are going to be seeing if they don't go?
I'll give you a story. I'll give you two stories. So when Hermine hit 2 years ago, there was a lady that stayed. She stayed in her house. It was a one-story house, and it was pretty low. It was like probably 7 foot ceilings, even 9 8. And she stayed because she had all these pets. Okay? So in her street, in her house, the water got that high. She could see that she was not going to survive because it didn't stop. I think they probably had 6 feet there. So she left, and unfortunately she had to leave her pets behind because it was too late. And thank God for her, because just as she was leaving, the last vehicle was a guy with some neighbor had a high water vehicle, and they were just driving through and picked her up. If she didn't, she would have passed away. If you go back and think about what happened with Irma. Now think about it. We're talking at places that could have 12 feet of storm surge. Think about that. With Irma, the Keys had, I think, 9 feet. Okay, so if you went down there and saw what happened, all the water flushed, came all the way in and sucked everything out. Okay, and everything that wasn't tied down or really, really heavy, it was all out in the middle of nowhere. Well, you as a person, there's no way you're surviving this, and so you just have to understand the power of this stuff. And we've seen those videos of the tsunamis, and they're not that deep, and how fast that water comes in, and it moves cars, so it's clearly going to move you, and you'll have no control what you're going to hit. So all of it's bad. 12 inches of rain is bad. The flooding will be bad. The 110-mile-an-hour potential winds, that's all going to be bad. Storm surge, whether it's 3 feet or 12 feet, that's bad. Anybody else?
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
That was Governor Rick Scott talking on the latest conditions of Hurricane Michael in Walton County. Now, if you're just joining us, a few of the things he touched on. He said if you're looking for fuel to evacuate, check out gasbuddy.com or download the app, and that will tell you where gas is as well as the price before you head over there. But do expect those long lines at the pump. He also stressed the importance of shelters, and shelters here in Bay County as well as Walton County and surrounding counties can be found on our website, mypanhandle.com. So be sure to check that out and see if pets are allowed. Make sure before you head over there. He's also advising anyone under any evacuation order to leave now, and he's really stressing the importance of that, and Sheriff Michael Atkinson's also stressed that importance. Now, we do have weather cut-ins at the top of every hour, and we will have updates on Hurricane Michael as they come. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to rejoin Ryan and Kelly.